Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have from 1957, in fact, May 24th, 1957, first time this trademark was used in commerce, but we have Highland Mist, pale dry Highland Mist, blended Scotch whiskey. No age statement, bottled in Chicago, Illinois by Barton Imports. Not even sold in my town or anywhere in this parish, to my knowledge. We don't have counties in Louisiana, we have parishes. But it is at Total Wine and More in Metairie, Louisiana, and it is at International Market, which is only about 3 blocks west in Metairie. So they haven't missed. I paid $6.49 for this bottle. Now, Total Wine and More, I'll put a link below. Total, because there's no actual website for the brand. Total Wine and More has the 1,750 milliliter bottle. So you get what I got, plus 1,000 extra milliliters, and the built-in pourer, that has a handle on the back where you can grab the bottle, and a built-in pourer, which does work very well, but too well. You got to watch it because you just tip it and it just dumps out. And you'll kind of waste it. You'll pour too much. Typical Sazerac bottle with all these like imperfections, like bubbles in the glass, rumples in the glass. I don't know. I don't see that with other people's bottles. Maybe Sazerac or bottles are hand blown. You know what I mean? Highland Mist. Here it's $14.99 for the 1,750 milliliter bottle. You can buy a regular $7.50, but I don't know what. I'd have to check the price. I'm not going to be searching for it. Scotland. Okay, here's the description. Highland Mist has a light, smooth, and sophisticated taste that is properly introduced by its subtle aroma, which incorporates a distinctive sweetness, mirroring the rich tradition of Scotch whiskey. Highland Mist offers a well-rounded finish and an overall balanced profile. All of that complexity for $14.99 a handle. Bizarre. Either that's the greatest value in the world, or perhaps it's not as good as they're claiming it is. I would have a tendency to agree with my second guess. John Barr, they're saying each whiskey is carefully selected and expertly blended by a third-generation master blender whose time-honored approach to whiskey, I'm reading without my glasses, to whiskey making delivers a reserve blend with a distinctive, rewarding taste profile, characterized by rich aromas of chocolate, baked apple, and freshly baked bread, which I never detected any of those things except maybe the bread dough, followed by notes of ripe apricot, gingerbread, and hazelnut on the palate, and a lingering maple finish. Wow, that's complex. That's amazing. But why can't I taste all that? You might say, you're no good at tasting whiskey. Everybody knows that. You're not good at it. Okay, that could be a possibility. Maybe it is. But because I read all these whiskey company websites and they just elaborate, and go on and on about all the fantastic flavors. And I'm not saying they're lying, and I'm not saying they're just being deceptive even. I'm just saying I don't pick it up. I usually taste corn, and maybe if it's peaty, some peat and smoke or something like that, some compost. No. But all these things I don't pick up. Now, Highland Mist has a crown, a shield for the Kingdom of Scotland. That looks like an X, St. Andrew's cross. There's the crown, unicorn and a horse, Kingdom of Scotland. Doesn't say by royal appointment. No, the royal family of Scotland and England, Wales, and Northern Ireland is not bringing in Highland Mist for their evening sitting by the fire looking at state papers. No, I don't believe so. Beer Hounds Beer Review says, cheers from Orange County, California, with a smiley face. Cheers to you. Or maybe he's a laugh. Maybe that's a laughing face. He might be laughing at me. And I don't blame him. 5:40 a.m. taste challenge. 100% Scotch whiskeys. Now look what it says on the label. A blend of Highland, Lowland, Islay, and Speyside whiskeys. Now they can't lie about that. They could actually get into trouble. You could win damages from them. Age for 36 months. Oh, they do have an age statement. Oh, damn. Excuse my language. I'm going to have to update my notes. Oh, well. I will do that. I forgot they had this little cursive writing here. Age for 36 months, which is the minimum in Scotland, and originally selected for the home trade. I don't know what that means. Did they originally only sell it in Scotland? It's got some emblems that seem meaningless, but it is a nice looking label for as cheap as it is. You notice some people would say rot gut. I mean, how many scotches can you buy that are $6.49 a bottle, right? You don't. Yikes, too much. And way too much Barr. All right, I don't know what I was thinking. What am I doing? I don't want to drink too much because A, it's too much, and B, I'm trying to save the stuff for future taste challenges. Still have a lot left. It's very pale. It says pale dry, and it is pale. Is it really dry, or is it sweeter than they claim? John Barr is darker. It's amber. This is pale. Pale straw. So they're saying they use 4 different types of Scotch whiskeys, and that would be single malts mixed in with the grain whiskey. How much percentage is the grain whiskey? You would imagine about 80% grain alcohol, grain spirits, grain whiskey, whatever you want to call it. It's basically odorless and colorless. I'm not making that up. Look at the Johnny Walker website. They talk about it. You know, we use all these great grain whiskeys. And then the blender goes and talks about, well, it really doesn't have any flavor or aroma. The flavor is coming from the wonderful single malts we blend into Johnny Walker. And I'm not disparaging that and making fun of that, because even though the grain whiskey might be odorless and colorless, essentially, I think the quality could be impactful in the sense of the body, right? The body of the whiskey, the finish, how it blends with the single malt. So that could make a difference. If you're using the most, you know what I mean, like the cheapest possible grain whiskey, grain spirits, it's gonna, you would assume it's gonna matter. And if you look on Midwest Grain Products website, they sell different grades of grain spirits. You could buy different grades for your whiskey production. So are there a lot of cheap, super cheap Scotch whiskeys I haven't tried? Yeah, like thousands lurking around like a CVS pharmacy and Total Wine and International Market, I might add, and everywhere else. Winn-Dixie's got their own brand. Oh my goodness. Are you going to get a better product if you pay that $200 a bottle? Yeah. You're going to get a better product if you pay $40 a bottle. But we talking about, all right, now John Barr's $23 a bottle. I checked everywhere. It's about the same, $23. I got it for $15.65 because I stumbled across a closeout. Highland Mist, like I say, $6.49 at the low point. If you're paying $9.99, you're probably paying too much. $8.99, stop there. You say, outrageous. Nothing's that cheap. Well, in Louisiana it is. So, oh, but I've gotten bottles cheaper than that. I got 100 pipers last year. No, earlier this year, I believe it was earlier this year. 100 pipers, 750 milliliters for $3.98. I'm not joking. $3.98 for 750 milliliters at Discount Depot on US Highway 90 business route westbound in Marrero, Louisiana. Hey, look, I don't know how they got it that cheap. I didn't ask questions. They got 2 places over there that It makes you wonder how they could sell everything that cheap. It makes you wonder if, I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, it's just strange, very strange. Give you an example. The 100 Pipers is from Chivas Brothers, by the way. So that's a major Scotch company. Chivas Brothers, no joke. But they got a bottle for $3.98. Seemed like it would cost almost that to ship it, but in bulk it probably is cheap. But Chivas Regal Mitsunara, everybody else got it for $60 a bottle, $55 at the cheapest, and they got it for $17.99 at the other store. $17.99 for a bottle of blended Scotch aged in Japanese wood oak barrels, but yet everybody else got it $55, $65, and they got it for $17.99. Now I just think something is very weird. $23 everywhere for Bushmills Red Bush, but they got it for $9.99. Hey, I don't know. I just go in there. They're polite. I get my stuff. I get out. Everybody else is going in there. They're lining up. Place is always packed. Well, why not? Got 60% off everything. I can tell more stories, really. Incredible place. The whiskey scout said he wants to check it out. I said, bring money. A lot of it. Because once you see it, you're just going to be like amazed, and you're going to want to buy everything because it's going to be like way cheaper than you ever see it again. So you could go berserk. Now, the beer prices are not anything special. Maybe slightly higher. Maybe. Wine, I never really gauged their wine prices at either one of those stores, so I couldn't say. But the alcohol, the liquor is outrageously low, curiously low, strangely low. Crazy you get Bushmills Red for $30+ where I'm from. Laughing out loud, says Golden Eagle. Interesting. I'm having some Glen Grant 12-year single malt. Okay. So I don't know. I can't explain it. But for $9.99, I wasn't passing it up. I know that much. I got Jack Daniel's Rye for half price. Literally half price. It costs $22 everywhere. I got it for $11. Figure that out. Okay. This smells plain. It's got some little sweetness, little honey notes. I don't know about all this crab apple or whatever they're talking about on the website. You know, they go into this extreme detail. There is something, it's like a moss. Yeah, like a mossy, I don't want to say moldy, but it's something unusual. I can't put my nose on it. I mean, you would smell that and you would not think it was Canadian or American. You know, you would know it was from Ireland or Scotland. It'd have to be. It's too un-American. This one is even more composty. I think that's what that is. This one is like straight up, who knows what's rotting in that compost pile so that you can put it in your garden. You say, that sounds gross. I don't want to drink scotch. It's a bad way to describe it, but I don't know how else to associate it. The peatiness is like a soil. It doesn't bother me because my mama used to use all kind of like weird things in the garden, like this big jug of like fish guts. It's like a pureed. Ugh. They don't waste anything, y'all. Nobody wastes anything. They sell it. But the stuff would grow. But when she would dump that out, ooh. And then you go to the Vietnamese grocery store and they sell it in a jar so you can put it in your food. Fish paste. You don't want to be around there when they open that up. Unless your name is Wee or Nguyen. All right. Okay. First thing, smoke. Isla. Some dough, some bread dough, white bread. Maybe it's baked already. And, you know, just the neutrality part of it. The grain spirits, the body part. You don't pick that up, but it's like, you know, it has like a body. It tastes all right. I mean, it's smokier than you would expect. So some people will say blend the scotch, and you're wrong. It is, a lot of them is profoundly smoky. Go buy Buchanan, spend you $35. You'd be shocked. Maybe you won't be shocked. You should be shocked. All right. It's kind of balanced, kind of John Barry. Must be John Barr. Must be John Barr. Because I don't remember the Highland Mist being smoky. It's just kind of round. They're bringing in all 4 type of scotch, not Campbelltown or what they call it, but you know, but the main ones, and it just round, like it's made to be plain, where you don't notice anything and you just mix it. You say like Budweiser beer. No, because Budweiser beer has a sharp flavor. I would say more like Schaefer beer. Whoa, that smell. It's very compost. That back hit. Yow. There is a little, whoa, mama monkey. There is a little compostiness, but then you just get hit with this rush of grain alcohol, you know, which is that like sharp, bitey corn, cereal grain flash. This is like a harsh flash, like somebody turned the music on too loud or it caught you off guard. It's like, oh yeah, jarring. That's the word, jarring. Whoa. There's nothing delicate about this. I don't know what they're talking about on the website with Total Wine. He said, well, they just copied that from the distributor. They give them those sell sheets. Yeah, I know. They're not writing it on their own, but still, what are they talking about? You say, well, it wouldn't look that good if they put their write-up saying harsh, jarring, grain alcohol hit with a somewhat garden compost component. Highlighted by a nasty bite. You say, well, ain't nobody going to buy that. They probably would for $6.49. You'd be shocked what people would buy. Comments. Good morning, Ron, says John and Neely. Hey, John and Neely, thanks for watching. The Dixie Bassman says $3.98 for scotch. I may have to head down there to visit my old tenor singer and his family after this virus passes. Yeah, it'll probably all be gone. I'm sure those prices, they just, you know, gobble it up. But she always got something in her store that's strangely cheap, like liters, not even $7.50, a liter bottle of Velikov vodka. Not a famous vodka. A minimum age, minimally distilled, minimally filtered. You know what I'm saying? It's the cheapest of the cheap. Velikov from, I guess, Barton. Might be Barton, or was it Fleischmann? For $3.99. But for $3.99, a liter. And people might say, we just having a party. We making Jello shots. We ain't worried about the quality. Okay, fine. You can't beat that. $3.99 a liter of Velikov vodka, and you're making Jello shots. I'd buy it if I was making Jello shots, which I wouldn't make, but or you cooking with it because you're making cake. I know a lady that bakes cakes and makes icing. She got to use vodka for some reason in it. She uses vodka in it, and she always uses Taka. Guess because it's cheap. But I see her using that, and if she could get her hands on Velikov, she'd make more money per cake. Okay. Endless gumbo, crawfish, and low alcohol prices. How can you beat that? You can't unless you factor in hurricanes. And it was windy last night like crazy. I couldn't sleep. I kept falling asleep and get woke up. Fall asleep, get woke up. I didn't get enough sleep, but 4 hours total. Well, plus off and on sleeping. the wind is just blowing, 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 and they had some pretty bad gusts, and then rain off and on, heavy rain at times. And I'm 150 miles east of the eye when it came in, and I was laying there thinking, just imagine what they're going through where it's hitting. Hopefully they didn't stay around, like in Creole, Louisiana. I drove through Creole in March. Or was it April? March. It was March. That place is so tiny. But there's little towns along the Gulf there. There's a highway 82. It runs along the Gulf to Texas. Port Arthur, Texas becomes Texas Highway 82. I'd recommend that trip. Drive from Abbeville, Louisiana, where 82 starts. Because there's a major highway going into Abbeville, United States Highway 167. 167, that runs way north to other states. But once you get to Abbeville and 167 ends, there's all these oyster bars, places to buy raw oysters and eat food at the restaurant, you know, the oyster bar. And then you can see a sign say 82 West. It starts there, and then it'll take you down, 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 down through the woods, through the marshland, and then you get to the beach, literally the beach, and the waves hitting the ocean, the Gulf of Mexico, the ocean. And there's all kind of houses there, like literally on the beach. Well, they got wiped out. I saw photos. They were just, they're elevated. Maybe the water didn't get in, but the wind tore them apart. And then you just keep driving on that highway for hours, and then you get to, say, Texas. You cross the Sabine River, and then you're on Texas Highway 82. And then you can either go to Houston, if you go straight, or take a right and go to Beaumont. Go to Beaumont, Bridge City, and then Beaumont. It's a very interesting trip, but it wouldn't be too interesting now. I mean, it would be interesting. It would be dangerous because you wouldn't be able to drive down the highway anyway. It's all tore up. Okay, enough's enough. We're going to go. Yeah, we got some pretty cold since 92. So we got some pretty gusty winds here on Galveston Bay Coast. Oh, yeah. I can believe that. There's a highway in Texas ran along the beach to Port Arthur from Galveston, and it got tore up by one of those hurricanes, and they never rebuilt the highway. They said just going to let it be a wildlife refuge. So like you can take, I think it's 87, and then it stops, and then you got to go around like about 80 miles and then pick it up again, and then it runs to Port Arthur. But nobody's going to do that. They used to just run along the coast. But they're going to rebuild 82 in Louisiana if it gets destroyed. They have to, because it's the only lifeline out there. So remote. Alaskan, says a Dixie basement. All right. This one has smokiness, rather rich peatiness, a little softness from the single malt whiskeys, the dough. It's way better than that one on the right. The one on the right is harsh, grating, tough to take. It's not the, I was about to say, it's not the worst scotch I've ever had. Well, actually, it might be. Highland Mist. Doing it wrong for 63 years. That ought to be their slogan. It's not totally terrible, though. I have to catch myself because there is a honey note and that compost, that peatiness. But it's really, man, if you take too big of a sip, it'll just burn you with that, just that grain alcohol, ethanol. Your counter argument would be, ain't nobody drinking it neat. Not a person in the world is buying Highland Mist and drinking it neat. I know that. You know that. American people know that. It's $14.99 a handle because they're mixing it. Let's get it straight. You're comparing things that have no reasonable purpose to be compared like this. Okay. That's true. But I'm still tasting it as is, neat, without additives. No ice, no water added. In other words, does this have some redeeming qualities? It has some. I can't say it's pure filth or terribleness. It isn't really. The problem is I'm taking this $6.49 bottle and I'm comparing it to a $23 bottle. And it doesn't match. It just doesn't work. So is it worth the extra money? Like 3 times as much. Almost 4. 6 times 4 is 24, but then 49, so it would be more. So 6 times 3 is 18. 1950, 1947. Would I buy 3 bottles of Highland Mist or 1 bottle of John Barr? Well, it would depend on the utilization. If I'm blending, if I'm making cocktails, I just buy the Highland Mist. Most people ain't going to know unless you tell them something. Then they'll be thinking about it. See what I'm saying? They'll be thinking, what? Oh. But if you just make something and they're watching a football game, running their mouth. That's why I don't like to get together with people and watch football because you can't watch the game. They just be talking, talk. About everything but the game. I understand because NFL games can be hard to watch. They're always like 17-10 at halftime. But they're not going to think about it, But if you're going to do it neat or just add ice, yeah, buy the John Barr. It's a way better value. Way better. And it ain't even that great. You know what I'm saying? John Barr is, what did I score it when I did the solo? A B. It's good, but I mean, I'd rather buy Johnny Walker Red. I can get Johnny Walker Red for $17.99 at Martin Wine Cellar, and I'm not going to pay $23 for this. But I mean, it's better than Chivas Regal, and Chivas Regal's $34, $35, and it's bland, so bland. It's smooth, but it's bland. It's like drinking nothing. So John Barr, nice little legs at the end. It does have a little smoky. Now I'm saying how smoky it is, right? When I drank it and compared it to Johnny Walker Blue, it had no smoke. It was like a neutral flavor. It had no character. Johnny Walker Blue Label just destroyed it with the incredibly smoky quality, like inky. And I got to get off this because the news is starting. But so these are all relative. Now, if I take this Highland Mist and compare it to Winn-Dixie Scotch or CVS Pharmacy's Grand Legacy Scotch, yeah, maybe this might be way better. I don't know. I bet it ain't gonna be way worse. All right, Alaska winds can get bad. I had a cigarette break and hit a gas can out in Delta. I have a first cousin once removed that lives in Alaska. Hey, Ron. Peace sign and smiley face says Max. Well, hey to you, Max. Well, sounds like a lot of ho-hummery this morning with these 2 products. Yeah, it is a lot of ho-hummery. Although the John Barr has a little bit of non-ho-hummery characters. You know what I mean? A little bit of something. And if you see it, John and Neil, I would buy it because $23, there's a little something there. But if you skipped it, I wouldn't be angry. The Dixie Baseman says most scotches are better than Chivas. That's been my experience. The Chivas Regal is so dull. Now, am I going to try the other ones higher up the ladder? Sure. Are they going to be better? I would assume they would be. All right, that's it. I'm going to watch the news. Thanks for watching. So I didn't even check the labels, huh? Maybe I got it wrong. John Barr wins. Clearly the winner, and it's worth the extra money. Yeah, JB, John Barr. I knew it. All right, thanks for watching, everybody, and be back tomorrow morning, God willing, for another Sazerac showdown against John Barr. It'll probably be the same result. You could save yourself some time. Now watch it. John Barr takes the win, right? Says F.